The Supercar Challenge is powered by Pirelli, Syntex Innovative Lubricants, Autosportinsurance.com, Spa05.com and Fitzner Performance Gearboxes. Welcome to the Gamma Racing Day, the biggest combined bike, kart and car racing event in the Netherlands. Over 80,000 fans have travelled to the TT circuit of Assen to enjoy the action in the paddock and on the track. Today we'll take a look at round 5 of the Supersport and Sport divisions, close touring car racing with a wide variety of makes, BMW, Mazda, Ford, Seat, Lotus and more. Everyone battling for every inch of tarmac, and not always successfully. We'll have a full report on Sunday's race, but first, qualifying and Saturday's first race. Supersport points leader Cor Reuser set the third fastest time in his Lotus Evora, but then mechanical problems intervened, so he'll now have to start in his elderly Marcus Mantis from the back of the grid. Thumbs up for Dennis de Groot. He set pole for both races. Teammate Priscilla Speelman will start the race. Both drivers eager to score their first win of the season. Second place on the first row, the BMW 3 Series and Mark van der Aar in the blue shirt and Koen Boekarts. They've had 3 wins so far, including the last race at Zolder. They're second in the championship, 10 points behind Cor Reuser. Boekarts starting the 1-hour race on Saturday in steaming hot conditions. With the pink highlights, Koen Boekarts taking the lead from Priscilla Speelman right from the start. But the blindingly quick blue Mazda 3 of Werner van Herk has the lead after 5 laps of racing. Boekarts lets them go as teammate van der Aar watches the timing screens, working out the pace he needs. Martin Webb's black BMW with oil fumes everywhere. Werner van Herk has also dropped out after problems in the heat. Koen Boekarts comes in then as the leader to hand over to Mark van der Aar for the second 30 minutes of the race. Mark knows what to do. He's got to keep the pace up to keep championship leader Cor Reuser behind him. Let's hear from Koen Boekarts what he did in the heat.
In het begin heb ik wel getrapt, daarna heb ik eventjes 5% minder gedaan.
The opening stages pushed really hard, but then decided to rein myself in to save the tyres. That way you can stop them overheating, so you can go much longer with your tyres throughout the whole race. Mark's doing lap times in the 50s. That's a good pace. The Pirelli tyres are doing great, so we're pretty happy. Dennis de Groot getting into his car, third in the championship. Priscilla Speelman dropped back to 5th place, just in front of Cor Reuser. Dennis de Groot, having been on pole for 4 races, has never yet won one, eager to try and do so here at Assen. He gets close to the leader, but Mark van der Aar wins by 1.2 seconds. It was close at the flag. Van der Aar saying, I didn't know he was so close. Over the radio, they told me I was leading. I thought I'd misunderstood because of a break-up in the signal. Dennis was nowhere in front of me, which was odd because he should have been close. But when I looked in my rearview mirror, I saw him. They were shouting, push, push. I had to give it everything to keep him back. It worked. We won, just. Dennis is really fast. I think he was half a second quicker than me, closing me down. But we both got stuck in traffic. That worked out a little bit better for me than for him. Everybody gave me room, which was great, but it was very exciting. I'm really thrilled with the win. Mark van der Aar, Koen Boekarts take their 4th win. With Cor Reuser back in 6th, they're just 2 points adrift in the championship. Speelman and de Groot 12 points behind. Eric van der Munkhoff, incidentally, finished 3rd. In the sport divisions, guest driver René Snell in the BMW M3 number 531 takes pole for both races. As he's a guest driver, he's not eligible for championship points. Second for both races, championship leader Dennis de Boers and Martin de Klein in this Renault Clio. They've got 2 wins and 5 podiums so far this season, but their biggest rival, Erwin van Dijk in the orange Lotus Exige, is just 3 points behind. After a disappointing qualifying, he'll start in 6th. At the start, the 6-cylinder engine of the M3 gives it a lot of straight-line speed, but greater weight means it has to brake earlier than the Clio. On the right, UK driver Jeremy Adams in the BMW 1 Series. Also a little bit more torque in his 3-litre 6-cylinder. The White Lotus of Huub Del Nooy, the 16-year-old karting racer, is right behind. He's making his car racing debut here as de Boers goes through past Adams. Through too goes the youngster. De Boers in P2 in the class, better cornering speed for the Clio and the light Lotus Exige. Well, out of Strubben, Dennis de Boers really close to the BMW, but look at it go. René Snell, however, drops out on lap 14 with gearbox problems, but there are also major problems with Dennis de Boers' setup. An unplanned pit stop on lap 9. The car's perfect handling shot to ribbons. The team check everything. They check the wheels especially. They notice a fracture on the inside of the left front. So that wheel is off. Meanwhile, they're dropping down to 8th place in their class. That's enough for 8 points in the championship. But the toughest blow comes from Erwin van Dijk, who wins his 4th race of the season, despite having problems with that drive shaft in qualifying.
Wat de spanning zeg, gisteren partij drama.
Well, a delighted Erwin saying it doesn't get any more exciting than this. Yesterday we had a drama with the drive shaft. Today everything worked out fantastic. My championship rivals dropped out one by one. Yesterday I really couldn't match their pace. Today we did the same lap times. Slowly but surely I cut through the field, managed to win it. The guys have done such a great job. Victory for Van Dijk means he's now the new championship leader. 135 points, 9 more than De Borst and Decline. Second in race 1, Rob Neiman. Third, Wesley and Moritz Carranza, meaning they're now only 11 points behind Erwin van Dijk. Hot conditions again for race 2 on Sunday, but the temperature has dropped a little from 30 to around 25 degrees for the 30-car grid. Starting from pole, Priscilla Spellman, Dennis de Groot will take over during the mandatory pit stops. Another JR Motorsport car on row 1, starting from P2, Mark van der Aar, just 2 points behind the championship leader Koolreuser, who's again starting from the back of the grid in the Mantis. P3 on the grid, Werner van Herk with the Mazda 3, winner of the first race at Zolder. Eager to do well here in front of thousands of spectators after bad luck on Saturday. P4 on the grid, having not started on Saturday, Luc de Kock. He had engine problems. 7 DNFs out of 9 races, hopefully a little bit more luck than last year's championship runner-up this time. In front of packed grandstands, the grid heading away for a 45-minute race. Problems though for 9th on the grid, Jonas de Kimper. He can't get away, the engine's running, but his DSG gearbox will not select a gear. Everyone's overtaken him, he'll have to start from the back of the grid. So scorching conditions at the stunning TT circuit at Assen. The field heading down into the final couple of corners. Into the Seagull Lake corner, you can see perhaps where it got its name. Pace car scaring away the feathered friends. You don't want one of those in your radiator. So Priscilla Spellman, the all-white BMW. Mark van der Aar with the pink highlights ahead of the blue car, the Mazda of Werner van Herk. Luc de Kock in the almost invisible low Lotus there from Erik van der Munkhoff, who's 3rd in race 1. And alongside Michael Verhagen's BMW 1 Series, 6 on the grid. Row 4, Martin Webb's black BMW and Herbert Boonder in the Seeker. On board with Erik van der Munkhoff, the Mazda right in front, creeping up to the Geert Timmer chicane. And expect the multi-cylinder BMWs to leap forward as we get the start. Lights change and away we go. The Mazda quick, and look at the little Lotus accelerating hard. Michael Verhagen goes by us now. He's up to 5th place already. 3 wide at the front, big lock up from the Mazda, but it's Werner van Herk who's got the lead and contact with Verhagen there. Van der Munkhoff out wide in the debris, and through goes Denny van Dongen. Oh, and in front, look! Mark van der Aar up the inside of Werner van Herk for the lead. So the BMW back in front. We're with Ruud Olly right behind the Seeker of Herbert Boonder, that low sports car. The BMW looking for somewhere to apply the throttle as Denny van Dongen picks up more places on the inside. He's absolutely flying in that pickup truck. While Mark van der Aar leads from Werner van Herk, Priscilla Spellman, Denny van Dongen already up to 4th place. Stunning work from him. 8th place with Ruud Olly. Right in front, Herbert Boonder trying to go around the outside. Not sure that's going to work. No, that's not happening. Erik van der Munkhoff keeps 6th, going into the right-hander of Ruskenhoek. Luc de Kock in the little Lotus. Started 4th, now down to 9th, having real tough season this year. Ruud Olly from 11th up to 8th. Herbert Boonder in front, then Erik van der Munkhoff. Michael Verhagen in the BMW 1 Series. And look again at Denny van Dongen showing his nose in the red, white and blue. That MW V6 pickup not quite making its way through yet. And again, we're challenging the Seeker. Well, you can see Luc de Kock's Lotus moving around in the mirrors behind as well, so Ruud Olly has to be careful where he attacks, because if he gets it wrong, then the Lotus will go by. What a great run he's got. Looking up the inside, not quite enough room to squeeze by that low-slung sports car, but he's showing plenty of intention and lots of speed. Mark van der Aar leads the ex-World Touring Car BMW from the Mazda of Werner van Herk. Then Priscilla Spelman from Denny van Dongen's V6 pickup. Verhagen, Van der Munkhoff, Boonder, and now Ruud Olli. Another great run going on the Seeker. Comes around the outside looking for 7th. And through he goes. Oh, and in the background, look, somebody's spinning out. And that is Leo Kirstjens. Well, exiting the chicane, Leo Kirstjens goes a little wide onto the grass. And no damage done. Lucky escape. Leader Mark van der Aar with the pink highlights starting to check out. Werner van Herk in the blue Mazda, then Priscilla Spelman, Denny van Dongen, Michael Verhagen, Erik van der Munkhoff in the low-slung Z4, and all over the back of him, Ruud Olli into the braking area. Olli's M3 GTR, bigger, heavier car, gets on the power, woo, and the tail steps out, can't quite stay with the lower Z4. Ruud Olli's been in the Supercar Challenge since the early years. He's always been a BMW GTR driver. In 2001 with the E36 right up to this E92. Lots of BMW experience. And using all of it now as he comes out of Strummen. Really good exit down onto the Veenslang. And he'll go by long before the braking area for Ruskenhoek. The bigger car will need more distance to slow down, but Erik van der Munkhoff, with the aerodynamic damage from that first corner incident, not going to be able to fight too well. So Ruud Olli moving up into 6th position, chasing Michael Verhagen in the 1 Series. Ruud Olli again looking to make a move. So much speed in this car, carving his way through the field. Verhagen will hold it together under braking into the Gert Timmer chicane. But on the exit, here we go, and almost falling over the 1 Series. Ruud Olli with so much speed to give away. Just breezes back up into 5th position. And at the top of the shot, Koolhuiser's Mantis from the back of the grid now up to 12th. As Ruud Olli sits in 5th position ahead of Michael Verhagen. Well, now, as Van der Aar and Werner Herk start to ease away, Priscilla Spelman shaking off Denny van Dongen. And van Dongen needs to be watching his mirrors. Ruud Olli next up. On board in the Seeker with Herbert Boonder. Whoa! Mistake under braking. Wow. Nearly ran right into the back of Erik van der Munkhoff's Z4. On board again with Ruud Olli. And there's the MW V6 pickup. What a change for Denny van Dongen from the Praga R1 that he raced last year. Lightweight, ultra sophisticated, closed sports car to this big NASCAR style stocker. All over the back of him, all braking early, and we can only just get the car slowed down. Was he brake testing Ruud Olli? Gives himself a little bit of clearance out of the Gert Timmer chicane. Denny van Dongen using the power of the V6 to get away. But Ruud Olli has the outside line. He's going to go round the nose and into 4th position. Great move. Battles all the way down the Supersport field from 1st to 15th. Not everybody having the best of times. Find out what happens and stay with us for more from Assen after this. The Supercar Challenge is powered by Pirelli, Syntex Innovative Lubricants, Autosportinsurance.com, Spa05.com and Fitzner Performance Gearboxes. Round 5 of the Supercar Challenge powered by Pirelli. We're at the TT circuit of Assen. Supersport Race 2 action from the first corner all the way through. One of the fast movers, Ruud Olli, started 11th, moved up to 8th on lap 1, continuing his fight up the order by lap 4, already up to 4th position. Picking up the action again with Ruud Olli, now already up to 3rd place on lap 7. He's disposed of Priscilla Spelman, and right in front, Werner van Herk in the Mazda. And the rotary engine in the Mazda, normally equivalent to the V8 in the BMWs. But as you can see, Ruud Olli having no problems here, dispensing with him in a straight line. Well, Werner van Herk's lack of speed is a symptom of the noise restrictions here at Assen. They've had to pack the exhaust with More sound deadening, it's causing the engine to run too hot, creating all sorts of knock-on problems just as it did on Saturday. Problems too for points leader Mark van der Aar. Look at that, oil everywhere. A quick glance shows that the oil filler cap is missing from the top of the engine, and that is not good news.
We zagen roken met pitstop. Ik dacht eerst van nou, dat zijn de remschijven. Dat heb je vaker dat die gewoon...
Mark saying during the pit stop we saw it smoking. Normally it's disc brakes, they get extremely hot, but they opened the bonnet, it was clear the race is over, everything's covered in oil. I think they've just found the oil cap. The oil warning light didn't go on, so I don't know what happened. I don't know what's happened to the engine either. It's tough luck for us, I guess. Everything was going well. I was going quick, had the lead. Rudolli was getting closer before the pit stop, so I had to speed up a bit. Gap was quite stable though. Our main goal was to finish the race. Because of our results, second to podium wasn't very realistic, but I think this means we're out. In fact, not so. They have cleaned and refilled the engine. Supercar is going to try and ensure they complete 75% race distance and score some championship points. Rudolli, the race leader in his BMW M3, and clearly the power is what pays here at Assen, because Dennis de Groot took over from Priscilla Spellman, their second, in an M3 GTR. Koroiser in the Marcus Mantis, he's been racing since Noah was a boy. He's in a stunning third. Lap 13, Art Bosman, 12th in the Supersport class. And that's Kim Troyen in the Silhouette Ford Focus. Oh, contact! Almost 200 kilometers an hour there. And Art Bosman a long way off and out of the race. I can't believe she was going to make a move there, but there you go. She went to the outside. I think she'd left room for me. Then she just closed the door. She was off the racing line. There's just no need for that. She's crazy, he says.
Ik denk wat een beetje het probleem is. Ik begin nu dit seizoen echt goed op
Kim says, I think everybody's underestimating that I'm getting faster and faster this season. They're misjudging my pace, where they can and can't pass me. So when he says she was offline, it's not true. That was my line, and he needed to go around me. Those are the rules. Well, it's an ultra-quick piece of the track, but you can pass safely. Here's Bas Schouten in the 1 Series started by Michael Verhagen, right behind Denny van Dongen's MW V6 pickup. And he goes the long way round the outside. Puts a lot of faith in Denny van Dongen, but these two know each other well. They've raced in other series together. Battle for 4th place continues. Schouten with a great run down the straight. Van Dongen's car really picks up and goes quickly. Schouten having to work so hard to claw back that disadvantage. And there you see Van Dongen makes a mistake. Too much power, tail steps out, loses traction, loses a bit of momentum. And if you're slow at the beginning of a drag race, you'll be slow all the way through it. Here we go. Going to go left, going to go right, having to go the long way, and then 2 wheels on the curb, inside, outside, wheel to wheel at 200 kilometers an hour near on, and he squeezes through. Great racing by both men. And when you're on the limit like that, so close to disaster, concentration is absolutely vital, as is trust. When Rudolli loses the lead of the race, mistimed pit stop, they released him too soon, means he has a drive-through, and that's going to be costly. Dennis de Groot takes over, and he and Priscilla Spellman win their first win in 10 starts this season after 5 poles. Finally, they've done it. Well, this year we've ended up on the podium so many times, we've had so many chances to win the race, it just didn't happen. Finally, we made it work. Finally, it's luck on our side. Well, Dennis de Groot with pole and the race win scores 21 points. Priscilla Spellman hasn't raced in every round, so Dennis gets the benefit. Koroiser gets 19 points for fastest lap and 2nd place. That means he keeps the championship lead, 10 points ahead of Dennis de Groot, 21 ahead of Supercar and Mark van der Aar. After their problems, they finished in 14th, scored 0 points for this race. So the championship takes another twist. Championship leader in the sport division after Sunday's race, Erwin van Dijk in the orange Lotus Exige. He starts 5th on the grid for race 2. René Snell's BMW M3 on pole from Dennis de Borst's Renault Clio. We're on board with de Borst. Harold Wisselink's 1 Series. Huub Del Nooy in the Lotus Exige ahead of Erwin van Dijk's similar car, and again at the start. René Snell's M3 easing away, and look at the 1 Series. Harold Wisselink looking down the inside to grab 2nd spot. Oil dry down means a little bit of dust, slippery surface on the inside, avoiding contact this time, having to back off the throttle though as the BMWs jostle in front, in contact from behind. Unbelievable. And that is the Mantis. So was that Koreuser. Let's take a look. Rear-facing camera, out of turn one. Oiser's alongside on the inside. De Boerst tries to turn in and contact. And that really is a racing incident. Ironic as he was trying to avoid trouble with the BMWs in front. René Snell running away now, and Harold Visselink going with him in the Silver 1 Series. Dennis De Boerst in 8th position in his Renault Clio, right in front. Erwin van Dijk, the points leader, going around the outside of Frank Beedorf. Another Renault Clio RS who gets a little sideways, and De Boerst has got a good run, but there is Huub del Nooy in his white Lotus Exige, one on either side of Beedorf. And look at Del Nooy, wow, he goes right by, picks up 3 places, does he? Yes, he does, turns in front of Erwin van Dijk. Well, he's gone from 9th to 6th then in about a third of a lap. That's fantastic work. Right in front though still is the championship leader. As they get down to the braking area for Strubben, the Renault all over the back of the Lotus Exige of Erwin van Dijk. Now, can he get a good run onto the Veenslang? Van Dijk runs out very wide indeed, unusually so, and is dropping back. That's Leo Kirstjens, incidentally, recovering from his earlier spin. Supersport class car just breezes right by. Right behind Van Dijk with Frank Beedorf down into the braking area. Ruskenhug and the Lotus going in very deep and really out of control. Spins in front as Beedorf jumps the curbs. Transpires later no second gear. Made it very hard for Van Dijk to slow down. Made it hard to attack as well. Frank Beedorf holding him off in the battle for 8th position in the Renault Clio. The Lotus hamstrung in the slower corners without that second gear. Around the outside in the Geert Timmer chicane, contact, doesn't get through. Well, Frank Beedorf really cut him off badly there. On board, the Lotus going around the outside. There's room for both to survive, but Beedorf cuts the apex, slams the door shut. That's a bit naughty. It's a second win of the season for Harold Visselink after René Snell dropped out with more gearbox problems. Win number 2 of the year for the delighted Harold. Well, Dennis De Boerst finishing in 2nd place with Martin de Klein. Huub del Nooy in 3rd place, but Erwin van Dijk held off by Frank Beedorf, only finishing in 6th in race 2 at Assen.
Ja, was geweldig.
Great race, said Harold. What a result. I won here as well in 2012, but this is much sweeter. We're on a really tight budget. We used the tyres from the last hour race at Zolder. We reckon 45 minutes should be possible. Turned out to be more like 30. Last 15 minutes, it was more like square tyres. With 2nd place in race 2, Dennis De Boerst and Martin de Klein closed the gap right down to leader Erwin van Dijk, just a single point between them. Next time out, another legendary track, the Grand Prix circuit at Brands Hatch in September, the Supercar Challenge, welcoming all comers to join them for this Sport, GT and Lights divisions event. Until then, it's goodbye for now. The Supercar Challenge is powered by Pirelli, Syntex Innovative Lubricants, Autosportinsurance.com, Spa05.com and Fitzner Performance Gearboxes.